4.
Hello.
Hello. What's up?
Hi,
What's
Tom.
happening? Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Uh,
Yes.
I was just setting up our camera guy over here.
Okay.
He streams the event. Uh, People who want to watch on Twitch, it should start soon.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just waiting for everyone
Um,
to show up.
okay. Sounds good. I know SideQuest. I'm not familiar with XR Terra. I'll go have a look at that. Oh, it's some sort of a job thing?
XR Terra is like a XR development boot camp. So they do boot camps
Oh.
for designers and for developers, and then they have a careers portion where they try and take their
Oh,
students and then connect them to people working in the space. I
I
actually
see.
studied with them, so I like them quite a lot.
Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey,
Is
hey,
Mr. Spatial Ape himself.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
good, good.
Good.
This is our camera guy over here. I tried to make him look like a stagehand, kind of. So if you want me to move him, I'm right next to the keyboard for my computer, so I can manipulate two people at the same time.
That's great. I think I may have made a mistake and not updated the environment.
Oh,
Mhm.
Um, I
so
just
Tom. Oh, what's
oh
that?
sorry, just so
Yes,
everyone knows, I
sir.
just re-imported the world, so I don't know if we're gonna get kicked out briefly, but if you do, just join back.
Okay, you got it. Tom, what brings you here?
I just happened to, I attended a weekly meeting that I attend every week earlier today, and then I suddenly saw this one, and somebody I know attended this one and mentioned it to me on VTime.
Oh,
And so I said, well, it's coming in a couple of hours. Let me just pop on and see.
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for coming by. It's every
Of course.
Thursday. We have guest speakers talk about the development space for XR, and then anyone and everyone, people who are just starting, people who have projects they want to tell people about, or ask you to check out on SideQuest, all sorts of stuff. Do you do any development?
Okay. I was a software developer for 40 years, but I that was all business software, and then I retired, so now I play, and so I did a tiny bit of Unity stuff just to see if I could grok it, and then she may have mentioned, but I spend a fair amount of time every day now in Neos, which is absolutely incredible, and they have a visual programming language in there. So
Oh,
it's kind of interesting. Not only get the entire 3D thing, but everything's programmable as well. So, like, if you
wow.
wanted, like the sky, for instance, to darken as it got later at night or something, you could program that in.
Hmm. Wow,
Mhm.
I've heard about Neos, but I haven't tried it myself.
It's very cool. PC VR though, but doable on the Quest. You just have to hook it to the PC.
Are
Uh,
you on a quest right now?
I'm on a Quest 2. Uh huh.
I'm always curious
Yeah.
which headsets people are using because it does seem kind of like the Quest 2 has totally taken over. Um, but I have a Quest 2, but I use it as a PC VR headset the majority of the time.
Yeah, well, I think that's why I recommend it to people because you can get all the Quest native apps, but you hook it up to the PC with Link. And I actually use wireless. You use virtual desktop to do it.
Uh no, my internet just I guess it isn't quite strong enough. I tried virtual desktop and I had just a little too much lag for it to really be enjoyable.
Really?
Um, but I have a like a 15-foot uh uh
Cable.
what's it called, link cable. Yeah, I didn't get the
Right.
Oculus one. I got one that was particularly long because I wanted to really have a lot of freedom with it, and it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
So
Right. I would suggest though, do try it again only because it should be a Wi-Fi. It's not the internet speed. It should be the Wi-Fi speed that's the dictator. So
well,
you
it's
might just want to
that
check and see if everything was set correctly. Mm.
yeah, it's that I have my computer is connected to my router via one of those. Have you like the AC power adapter Wi-Fi setups?
Oh,
Where
yes, 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 yes. That
it's
run
not
through. Got
Wi-Fi.
it. Not
It's
direct
it's it's
connect.
almost like a halfway point between Ethernet and Wi-Fi. And for everything else, it
Right.
works just fine. But I don't think the latency
Oh, okay.
is quite tight enough. If I had like a 50-foot Ethernet cord,
Hmm.
I could plug it in, but it just seems like it would
I
probably annoy
see.
my roommates to have the cord sneaking through the
Oh,
living room.
dear. All right, no problem. Well, you can do it, and that's the important thing. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for the link, what it opens up in the terms of
Mm-hmm.
additional space. I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
amazing, right? Then you get Steam VR, you get there's any number of other repositories for games. SideQuest, of course, is good to know about because you can pop
Yeah.
things on there that you aren't in the store. So yeah, it's pretty exciting times.
Yeah, and
But
then if
Neos
you
will run
know
on your
anyone,
PC setup. Hmm. Yeah.
oh, Neosphere, can you tell me more about what it is? It's like an MMO kind of.
Well, it's room based, but it's completely. I'm trying to think of a slightly different. You ever been in VTime?
No.
No? Okay, I was going to suggest that one of the benefits of this, for instance, here in Altspace is the ability to move around and stuff like that. But the downsides are it's a very low resolution, all things considered. There's not very realistic avatars, no legs, all those kinds of things. So if you
Hmm.
go to VTime, it's super high resolution, but you cannot move. That's how they get around it. You animated your arms and arms and your head, but not your legs are just sticking there. You just sit. But
Oh.
Neos is that combination. So the high resolution of VTime plus the ability to move, fly, you can set weightlessness and you're just kind of hovering. You can lift up and drag and drop anything. Everything in the room is an object. There's no thing that's a fixed item. So for instance, if I wanted to take a photograph, I use this as an example all the time. I would spawn a camera by just going to my inventory and spawn a camera. I'm holding it.
Mm-hmm.
I can size that camera up. I can click on 2D, 3D photosphere. I can click on 2K, 4K, 8K. Click, click, click. Hold the camera. If I wanted, I could put the camera in space, hit the timer, and run over here and then take a selfie. The photo comes out of the camera. I can hand you the photograph. You can stretch the photograph up. You can stick it up on the wall and say, oh, that's cool. You can save it. It'll be there the next time you come back. So it's just real. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
well, I was experimenting with a couple different ways because we wanted to be able to stream this event to people who
Hmm.
can't join, on an actual Altspace client. Uh,
Yeah.
and Altspace has a camera built in, but the feature I guess was never finished
Mm.
because if you try and position the camera in VR with your virtual hands, it gets stuck to your hands, and then if you teleport while holding it, it explodes into a million
Ouch.
pieces. So I was trying to figure out a sort of
Mm.
workable way of doing it, but then I realized that I would be recording local audio as well, so my voice might be different from other. And I just
Mm,
figured, let's go
Uh,
with cameraman over here. I
yeah,
like his
this
presence.
is easier.
Super.
Um,
Yeah.
We can. Should
Neil's
we?
eventually coming up with a PC client, by the way, so you wouldn't need a VR helmet.
Oh,
No
cool.
problem. Don't want to interrupt. Mhm.
Oh, you're good. How's it going, Jason? Welcome in.
Hey, Jason.
Hey,
Test
hey.
drive.
Hey,
It's really fun.
Hey, we're just getting going here. What brings you in here?
yeah, I'm one of the developers for one of the SideQuest
Oh,
Fitness
great.
Week apps. So
Great,
I developed
fantastic.
Hitstream.
Okay, awesome. Well, Michael and some of the others should be in here joining pretty soon.
Cool.
Um, Say again, which app is yours?
Hitstream.
Hitstream. Oh, very cool. It's a great app. Have you guys played
Yeah,
Hitstream?
thanks.
No, never even heard of it. What
It's a
is it?
great fitness app.
Fitness.
Jason here is the developer. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a little early here in Hong Kong. It's like 5:10 a.m.
Oh my God, you're
you're
brave for showing up. Then I tell you
That's
that.
some dedication.
Well,
That's
the
fun. What
question
is-
is, did
what
you
is-
get up early or did you just not go to sleep?
Yeah, good question.
Well, no, this wasn't get up early.
Yeah,
Okay.
we interviewed someone. His name's Sneehal, and he runs Superfan Studio in New Delhi. And he came in here a few weeks ago for an interview. And at the end of it, he was like, "Yeah, it's 7 a.m." And he's like, "Yeah, I stayed up the whole night for this interview." I was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so badly."
Wow.
What's the VR scene like in Hong Kong? Is there one?
There's actually quite a few arcades and things. So I think before
Oh, cool.
COVID, it's actually quite cool in that sense. But obviously, it's now that's all kind of stopped.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Jimmy, welcome back
it's-
in.
Hey.
I am a little surprised. Maybe you have some insights, by the way. In V-Time, we keep track of people that we speak to, and there's only one person in Japan, and I think we have one or two people in Hong Kong. But I'm shocked. I would have thought it was pure tech. So I'm surprised you find it's not that common to own a headset, or can that? Maybe they don't. I was thinking, did they not have the internet speed? But I don't think that's the case.
I don't know.
No.
Oh.
I mean,
in terms
this
of internet
event.
speed, it's pretty cool here. You get fiber
Right.
straight to your apartment. So I think
Oh,
it's
really?
Right.
Wow.
I think some of it might be kind of language support. So
I think that's
in
it.
terms of games and things.
That's one thought I had, that they may actually congregate in a Japanese equivalent where they can just speak and all, but it's not been the case in other foreign countries, so it's a little odd. I mean, we have people from Saudi Arabia, and we have people from
Sure.
all
That's
sorts of
interesting.
places. So why suddenly just not Japan? I don't know. But maybe they didn't have an alternative. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Time is the
Everett-
other possibility, right? As you said, it's like suddenly
Yep.
4 a.m. when I'm on or something. It's no wonder I don't see anybody. Yeah.
This event tends to be pretty strong English speakers.
Yeah, it's the lingua franca of these days of all tech.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of bilingual folks, especially from Europe.
Yeah, last week
depends.
it may have all been in English, but there were a good number of accents.
Mhm.
Clearly,
Yeah,
people from
oh,
other
yeah.
countries.
Yeah.
Well,
the
when I
company
look
used
through-
to work for,
Good.
no problem. Well, I was just saying we had a department in India, but everybody there spoke English because the headquarters was in the U.S. So if you expect to work with us, you'd have to be able to speak English.
Oh, it looks like we have a few more people coming in.
Yep, people are trickling in.
Mhm.
It's my fault because I, early on changed the time around, and so now no one ever knows. But now, yeah, no one wants to be the first one here, so they come in 15 minutes late, but it ends up working out.
Fashionably late, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when I go through, if you go through SideQuest and look at the top apps on SideQuest, I would say, Europe is probably better represented even than North America, which is interesting.
What you mean from a development perspective?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite funny actually, because even actually getting part of this SideQuest Fitness Week was good because it connected me with quite a few of the developers, and
Oh,
just
that's
looking at
great.
the time zones and things, it was, yeah, most of it seemed to be kind of European, which was
Mhm.
actually quite a surprise. So
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think you get a lot of things like Croatian, Russian, Polish. You get a lot of these countries where you don't actually need a lot to make a startup. I mean, you would need a lot of money to start up something major, but not for software. All you need is a PC and an internet connection. Tools are relatively inexpensive. Uh, access to information is really what you can do. So it's interesting.
And it was only, I think it was last week or a couple of weeks ago, Facebook released some study where they broke down the market into gamers, 4 or 5 different types of gamers for VR, and they didn't break it out into regional differences, but I think they could definitely do that, But there was it was a good sizing of the market, at least according to Facebook.
Welcome back, Kodo X. Good to see you.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey,
Great.
We got a hexadecimal person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Next 5 minutes or so, we should see everyone coming in.
Okay, well,
cool.
let me throw out a real quick question, if I might, into the crowd, since we're gaining.
Go for it.
Just curious about people who may have heard of and or used Neos, because one of the things that I'm looking at the avatars, and again, you'll be stunned if you can go see a video maybe on Neos VR, and you'll be stunned by two things: the quality and the variety of the avatars, and they're so lifelike and super lifelike. So you could be a monster, or you could be a human, or you could be whatever, and everything works. Almost everything, every ripple. You can flex your muscles in theory. It's completely settable. And if you touch somebody, by the way, I would feel it on my hand as I touched your head. And they have complete, what do they call it, haptic suit.
Yeah.
Oh, support for haptic suits. How does
Support
it
for
compare to
haptic
something
suits on
like
their avatars.
VR chat?
It's a kind of, I want to call it an offshoot of VR chat. I think the people who started it were involved with VR chat, but I think it's miles ahead in terms of its pure tech at this point. There's no kids running around, and everybody is super helpful, and it's still growing in terms of the capabilities that it has. But it's really is a pure tech environment. You get in there, and it's just unbelievable how helpful people are. And you can do anything. I'll just share with you real quick. Somebody said, "Oh, how is it?" I said, "Oh, it's like 1,000 times better than, say, Alt Space or VTime." And they said, "Oh, can you change the avatars?" I said, "Oh, I misspoke. It's 10,000 times better." It's just crazy.
Do you think
can
that an
make a
eventual
car.
port to the Quest would be possible, or do you think that the tech requirements of what they're building is just out of scope?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is it would never, in its current state, it may be able to be pushed, but then the PC version will be that much further ahead. So at some point, the Quest can run it natively, but then they're saying, look what you can do if you hook up with the PC. So I think it's always a catch-up game. But again, I'm just an example. You can spawn an animal like a dog and click on it and sit on it and ride the animal around. You can get a car and drive it around. It's unbelievable.
That's the future,
Yeah.
man. We need to study. We need to do more building as far as technology is concerned, and we need to take matters into our own hands as far as
Hey.
technology is concerned, and and
Hey,
start
Robin.
building upon what we have already. For example, the Oculus, we're able to teleport into, like you said, we're able to teleport from one place to another. Right now, we just see each other as cartoons. Pretty soon, we'll be seeing each other like we really are, like the real humans that we are. And we'll be able to, go to other people's houses, visit them. They'll have all kind of from PG to X, all on the virtual reality headset. Pretty soon it'll be glasses, and eventually after that it'll be some contact lenses that you put in your face and stuff like that. So
Yeah, man.
John, are you a developer?
no, I'm just a visionary.
Huh. So what's brought you here today?
I just came here to eavesdrop.
Cool.
Hey, that's
Get some
fine.
ideas.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
By the way, do we have any of the other Fitness Week devs here? No, we have Jason here. We're still waiting on the others. I saw Michael just pop in the back, but he left. I think may have had some technical issues. Hey, Robin, how's it going?
Hey guys, hey Justin. Yeah, good, thanks. How are you all?
Great.
Good.
So, really quick, who here has this is their first time attending this event? First time attending Spatial Ape. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, John says he's a visionary. Tom, you were saying you just popped in because you got recommended it from a friend, right?
Somebody was talking and mentioned it, and then I happened to see that it was on today.
Yeah.
So
Every Thursday.
Okay.
That's great. For the new folks, also, we have a website, spatialape.com, and that's where we stay connected outside the event.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just take a sec to explain to you guys while we wait for the others what we have planned here. As you guys see, things are expanding a bit, and what we're doing is expanding into a format of being, instead of just one event, a conference that's many events networked together. And SideQuest is going to be one of our first major partners there, as well as XR which is like career development. And hopefully over time, we're going to do several of those. So we weren't actually expecting to roll it out till next week. But you're free to check out the previews of those environments at any point if you're curious.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Michael.
Hey,
You made it in.
workout.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, tried twice, but today I cleared my update and now it works again.
There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Somebody said that AltSpace has been having trouble with audio lately. Last
Oh,
couple
really?
weeks. I don't know if you've heard that, but there seemed to be a complaint from some people.
So, Michael, who all did you invite in here from Fitness Week? Who are we waiting on?
We're waiting for J7, the developer of Fitstream. We are waiting on. You're already here. Okay. Yeah. We are waiting on Shane. Is Shane already here? No. He said that he wanna make it. I think the developer of RealFit wanted to come as well, but I'm not sure if he's joining with in the 2D mode or if he joins the other way. And try to get Dylan from your, but he said he's not sure if he can make the schedule change, so you can actually get here. I wrote him a message today, so I'm not quite sure if he will make it.
Well, do you think it's worth waiting another 5 minutes or so before we start our chat?
No, we can start chat now. Right now.
We can start.
I don't think, yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we have a little chat? So what we generally do in here is we'll have a quick kind of interview. I'll moderate it. That'll kind of provoke thoughts for people, and then we'll open it up and have a community chat. Feel free to break out into groups at any time. You don't have to sit here and listen to me. Check out the other worlds. Whatever you want to do. Michael and Jason, the camera is right here. This is Twitch today. So you want to join me kind of over here in this area?
Goodness.
I can reposition it as necessary.
Cool. Jason, you want to come maybe stand up here next to, I know it's awkward, next to me and Michael. Okay. Well, what I love about this is it was organized by Michael. So Michael, whatever you want to get out of this, like you make sure that we cover it. This is totally your thing. I think the impetus for this talk was that you guys participated over the last week in the SideQuest Fitness Week, and from a business perspective, this was a really unique thing in VR. It was unique in a lot of ways. It, was an event that spanned multiple apps, which I think is interesting, and I want to talk about. It was unique from a marketing perspective. It was tied into SideQuest in a unique way. So I'd love to just kind of hear your full take on how it went for you, and would you do it again, and how does that change your plans going forward? Jason, do you want to kind of kick things off?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was initially it was just something we talked about. I think late last year, and it was something that we thought it would be really good to try and do something unique where a number of applications would all try and come together. But we hadn't really thought about the format and how we would link these applications, given that a lot of them, even though fitness is the main thing, each of them are unique in their own right, which is great because I think when people target fitness, they want to do different aspects of fitness. So I think it was good that we'd got a bunch of us that we'd all got different apps, all at different stages of development, all doing unique things, but we want to try and bring together some form of either scoring system or some sort of online system where everybody who would perform in these games could, I guess, could get together and the community could kind of share. So I guess we brainstormed a number of ideas and obviously talked to the guys at SideQuest saying, well, given all our apps are on the SideQuest store, wouldn't it be good if we could actually host something on there? And I think Shane and the developers then set about creating an SDK for us so that we could at least try and pull together some form of awards and badges and things like that. And I think that was the start of trying to get all these apps together. And I think it worked really well in that sense. It was very frantic. I think a lot of the apps, given trying to get something together in such a short space of time, embedding the code in our games, doing releasing, testing, etc., was all very, very frantic and took a lot of time and effort from all of us. And I guess we all shared a lot of some of the pains and the troubleshooting in terms of doing it. But we did it, and it was great to see what we achieved in such a short space of time. I guess we've not yet seen the stats in terms of how many people managed to do the registration through SideQuest, because that was something new. Doing the linking with the apps, that was something new. So I guess we haven't seen yet in terms of how many people actually managed that. But I think it
awesome.
started a great platform
Just
for us.
want, not to cut you off on it, just want to add something in there. So you guys are like developers of the Oculus and or of Quest.
Quest, mine's on Quest.
Okay,
So
so I was just thinking like how you guys should make like some gloves, instead of these big bulky, these big bulky things for the hands. It should be some gloves, like some gloves. You just put them right on, and
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
allow the person to move their fingers, to do more with their hands. Like they could actually, if you're talking about exercises, they could actually do sit-ups, put their hands on the floor. We can't put our
Sure.
hands on the
Speaking to
floor with
Michael
this
then.
because it's gonna crush it. So if you
Yeah,
have some gloves,
people are working
and then
on that for
eventually we
sure.
can do, and then eventually you could do like body suits. Like you got the whole body suit, and as long as you got the whole body suit, you can move your whole body and do exercise in your whole body suit. So
Totally.
these are just ideas. Like I said, I'm a visionary, so my ideas are free. I don't care. You can use them. I mean, whatever.
I'll post on spatialape.com. I'll post 2 or 3 companies that I think are doing a good job working on that type of product. You may be interested to look at. Shane, welcome in. So Shane is founder and CEO of SideQuest. He just walked in the back. Shane, we're just getting started here. You want to come up and tell us how you felt like SideQuest, week went from your perspective and what you were trying to get out of it?
Yeah, wow. You put me on the spot, I think, a little bit. This week was a lot of different things for us. We were working on a lot of different things at the same time, and I was unfortunately more engaged with that other stuff than with the fitness week as much as I would have liked to. Thankfully,
Sure.
Orla here was pretty strict with her regiment of getting in her fitness requirement every single day and trying out each and every single fitness app a lot more than I managed to get to do in the end. So she could probably tell you a little bit more about what she managed to get out of it. For me, I wish I was able to get a little bit more involved, but I look forward to sort of continuing the fitness community that we've created, which I think is great. And yeah, I really changed up the communities, the way it works on SideQuest. So now the fitness is on the homepage. Hopefully that'll drive a couple more people in. We can sort of really get this going. So yeah, I'm really excited. But Orla, I mean, do you want to tell us how you got on during the week?
Sure, yeah. Well, I'll start by saying I'm not a fitness person. So I felt like I was probably a good target audience for this stuff because obviously it's good to see how like VR could maybe change that for a lot of people who like don't like to go to maybe like public gyms. Um, uh, as we've already said, it was a little bit of a rushed process getting everything set up, but the developers that did manage to integrate the SDK were able to link their games with SideQuest, and users could then earn awards and badges. So um, whilst I was really strict with my routine, I also was probably not very good at some of the games. I tried my best. I don't think I managed to actually win too many badges, but I did participate, and that actually was really fun for me. And I'd love to be able to continue that and continue the spirit of that. And I do really think that there's like this huge like kind of really untapped like market for fitness and VR. I mean, when I say untapped, everyone is using it for fitness. Like when you think about like the stuff that's on the store and stuff, but some of the apps are doing like really unique things, and it was. I thought that was a really positive thing to try. To, I guess like with hand tracking, and then there were some apps that had like you were actually down on the floor basically doing like crunches and stuff. Like it was really intriguing to see how you could still do that in VR. So yeah, it was a fun week for me. And yeah, I hope to continue kind of exploring that.
That is awesome.
I
One
have
of
to
the
say-
one
I
of
have
the
to say
coolest.
one
Oh,
second.
go ahead. Go
To
ahead.
say, I want to give a big shout out to Orla because without her, it wouldn't have been actually possible. Because we were all throwing around the ideas what we could do, and we were kind of trying out different things, but not really getting to the point. And Orla was kind of pressing us. So now you have to get something. You formalized what you have to do, and you have to tell us what you actually want to do. And without that pushing, we would still be in the planning phase and still be trying to figure out what we want to do. So thank you, Orla, for pushing this through.
No worries. I guess like I'm a project manager by trade, so it's definitely one thing to have great ideas, but it's another thing to execute. So I was putting a little bit of pressure on, but you know, in true developer spirit, everybody crunched and got the job done in the end. So well done to everybody for putting the hours in.
How many?
It was
others
impressive how quickly you guys got that turned around. I mean, it went from being an idea to being live and people using it, within a month or so. It was really cool to see that. One of the things.
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, one of the things I'm
gonna
curious to
say-
ask you about is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I think we literally started talking about it the week before Christmas, and I was thinking,
Uh
how on earth do we pull this together
huh.
with Christmas week, and then everybody gets into their fitness mode in January, but like it worked out in the end. So if you
Sure.
want it enough, you can make it happen.
I thought this idea of an event that happens in more than one app at the same time was really interesting. Is that something you may try with other kind of topical groups on SideQuest?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a real good trial run for us to see how that type of integration might work, and I definitely think there's a lot of other categories there that could probably leverage what we created for their games, and we've had a few kind of inbound requests from developers who've seen how it worked for Fitness Week to say like, could we look at this like in-game reward type thing, for a first-person shooter or for something that has like a points-based system.
Sure.
So yeah, we're pretty excited to see where it could possibly go, and we would like to keep working on it and exploring that for sure.
That's really cool. And from Michael and Jason's perspective, did you guys see a bump in your traffic?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, VR Workout got staff picked at the beginning of January, so there was already quite an increase. But with the Fitness Week, I will put out a tweet probably tomorrow because I kind of like putting out data, and it really shows how the Fitness Week turned out, and especially the day when the game was because we had each game had a certain day when it was featured, and it was like you have to do it. You don't have to do it exactly like us, but it would be good if you do it on this day or that day. And you can really see that spike when the game was on the spot, and it really shot up. So I think the whole Fitness Week got me around 1,500 downloads. So that's pretty impressive.
Nice.
That's awesome. I just have one more question for you guys, and then we can just kind of make it casual. And that is, you mentioned that each of you has a slightly different offering, and that the average customer for any one of your apps is probably also going to be interested in the other apps. Could you guys imagine doing something together in the future, like a bundle or some kind of official cross promotion?
Definitely, sure. I mean, I think even I'm not sure if it was Smash Drums or if it was Song Beater. Either one of them asked us if we want to have like the same thing like Project Operation Serpent's Head, where they had advertisements for another game in their game, like you have a poster on the wall or something. And I think that's really really a great way to get, because people who are using fitness, they are interested and they won't play a single game for like a month, so they want to have some mixing up of things, and that's a great way to point them to other games. And I think that during the Fitness Week, it's also we try to do all those shout outs for the other games so that all our followers actually figure out what other games are there. And I think that created a great community, and people really found a way to discover other apps that really fit their interest. And yeah, I think that would definitely be something we would do it again.
That's awesome. That's definitely something we've noticed trying to build this community too, is like as competitive as another group may seem, you're almost always better off working closer together, because VR is such a small thing and we all need to support each other.
And
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
quite
I mean,
sure
the actual, I think the start of getting all of the games together was the first step, but I think it helps them building community, because as Michael says, when people tend to want to use multiple games, and in fitness, it's great to have a complete different scope to actually be able to play. And so we were all actually, it was great that the fact that we got so many developers together to be able to actually showcase their applications and actually support each other. Because I mean, I know for myself that I will download multiple applications, even of the same genre. So it's not like we're competing with each other. We're actually helping each other. And I think that was great. It was a good get together in that sense. And I'd definitely like to do that again with other applications.
And I would say as well, variety is the spice of life, right? And also, like fitness is hard. It's hard to get like your head in the game, and it's really useful if you have more than one app, right? Because you might want to do like 10 minutes of one thing and then move on to 10 minutes of another, and before you know it, like you're through your 30-minute like daily workout. And also in fitness technically, and I'm learning all this week, but you should like work different parts of your body, right? So that you don't cause like strain or stress on one particular part. So I thought it was really good that like there were certain days where it was more aerobic, and then there was other days where I worked more on like the mat exercises, and then there were some days where I just did a mix of both, and I felt like that really worked for me, and it got me through the first week, which I think is probably the hardest week. And then once I had the routine, then it was great. So yeah, I definitely think you need more than one or two apps.
Awesome.
Who wants the numbers?
I'm black.
Yeah, sure.
Me.
Yep.
Me. I do.
So there
What was
was
the question?
250 users linked an app
Oh,
to their SideQuest.
I'm black.
And out of those 250 users, 310 of them achieved something, got some kind of an
Wow.
achievement.
Cool.
Cool.
I mean,
That's awesome.
I think those numbers are encouraging, just considering
Yeah.
how short it took for us to get that. And then to hear the numbers of downloads. And I think that's something to explore with everybody, because even if people didn't engage with the achievements and they didn't, you know what I mean? They didn't link it or anything, at least they've engaged with the content a bit more. And that's definitely the outcome that we're looking for here, is to try and get people more engaged with the content. So yeah, we've a bunch of things in the works that could lend towards this stuff. We're actually working with some big profile third parties around things that could very much plug into this. I don't have anything really to announce right now, but we're already in well on our way into discussions on this sort of stuff, and we're already looking at building out a technical specification of what this could look like using their APIs and stuff. So yeah, keep an eye out. There could be some announcements to make soon.
Fantastic.
Great.
How many apps did you actually get involved at the end of the day? Do you know that?
Yeah, we had
I think there
just
was 8. Wasn't there 8 in total? Because there was 2.
I think
Was
it
there
was
8 and
7.
then
I
2
mean,
rest days
was-
or 7?
yeah. I mean, the rest days didn't actually link the game, but it was really great that you put out like those meditation games in the rest days. I thought that was really a really nice mixing up of things, because we planned to do rest. I mean, initial plan was to do one game, one rest day, one game, one rest day, but that would have spanned too long and people would have probably lost interest. But from another fitness event we had in the VR Fitness Discord, we noticed that if people are actually exercising every day, they will simply overstrain them, and then they simply need rest days. So we wanted to make it not too hard, so everybody who wants to attend can attend, even if they don't have that level of fitness that you need to actually do it every day for 10, 20, 30 minutes. And so having those meditation games in the rest days, this was really a great way to actually keep people interested without doing the exercise, and actually learning that you have to listen to your body, and you have to also do those recovery periods where your body can adjust.
Great.
I saw you got you got that press from Fox. Did that have anything to do with Fitness Week, or was that independent?
I can't really tell. I mean, it was coincidental that it was during Fitness Week. I think it had something to, I mean, they actually mentioned SideQuest, so that was really surprising to me. I haven't had no contact with them, so I didn't know where they get it from. But I think it had something to do with VR Fitness Insider review they did in that week. Also from the Fitness Week. So the Fitness Week caused them to do the review, and the review caused then Fox News to pick it up, because a lot of things they said during that Fox News article was actually from the VR Fitness Insider review. So it was kind of transient, but yeah, had something to do with Fitness Week.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. when I saw that you were on Fox News, Michael, that just made me roll on the floor laughing.
Well, the thing is, I'm not really happy with my body, because you can clearly see my balding head, but it's covered by the headset. And I was like, shit, I should have. I mean, I wanted to do a new trailer like 2 months now, but now I'm too late. So they used the old one.
Gotcha.
So I have a couple of
That's so
questions.
funny.
Firstly, well, congratulations to both of you. That was to everyone involved. That was a really good, it's a very successful event. And also, my question is: was there anything that worked really well that you weren't expecting to work, or something surprising you got out of the experience? And also, my second question is there anything you change next time? Is there anything that you do differently?
I think having more time would definitely be the thing to do next time, but I guess that's always a common thing for development. I guess the surprise was just although we had a lot of technical challenges, how actually easy it was. You know, the guys at SideQuest did a great job in terms of making something that was relatively simple to integrate. It was extensible in terms of we could decide what the words were around the achievements, what the badges looked like. So I think that was actually quite a nice surprise in the fact that even though all our games were different and were on different platforms, development platforms, we could still integrate into that ecosystem relatively simply. And I think it does set us up for other things in the future. So yeah, that was a really nice surprise that we could actually integrate all of that in, as I said, in such a short space of time. Quite a lot of late nights and scrambling around, but we did it, and we all released kind of towards that weekend. So yeah, it was great.
I'd say the biggest surprise, biggest surprise was that it actually had so much resonance. So I mean, we thought that it would be interest people, but it was picked up by so many people also on Twitter, and people actually caring about games that come, because it could have simply been a dud. So you have those promotions, and people think, okay, that's nice with Fitness Week, but that there are actually so many people who got engaged with it and actually waited for other games, and also tried to do the games in the same schedule we put out. That was kind of surprising, because that shows that there is really a huge community of fitness people of interest in fitness, and actually wanting a community, and wanting some guidance, and wanting some thing they can cling to, and you do their stuff with others. So I think that fitness and multiplayer will be a huge part in the future, because there are so many people who want others to share their works, and motivate each other and stuff. Yeah.
Can I throw out an idea? Just a thought came to me. Since you mentioned rest days, one of the things that the software, and I didn't attend any of these software things, so I don't know what they do, but they should accommodate a rest day. So that should be part of the app. So I was just curious if anybody could, for instance, if there's an app where you exercise and maybe you could see somebody else, is there a day where you could attend the app and not be exercising? That would be your rest day, but you'd be helping others and speaking to them, and saying, oh, good job, or et cetera, et cetera. So the idea of a community, it wasn't that you weren't there. Does that make sense? You aren't not there
Yeah,
2 days.
that makes
You're
sense.
there doing something else, reading stats, looking at other people, reviewing a video. You know what I mean? So anyway, I just real quickly, I have a beta version of a sailboat racing app, runs native on the Oculus Quest. And the cool thing is, it's okay, but if you didn't want to race, it would be great if you could watch other races.
Mhm.
Then it would just bring people in who aren't even going to be good at racing. They're just going to watch other people race. So that's an idea, is make it more of a place you want to visit or come every day.
Well,
Yeah,
I thought what you did with the rest day, including you did a mindfulness app, right, on the rest day.
Yeah, we did some meditation apps, because a lot of being able to actually keep up a fitness routine is a lot about like a positive attitude, and mental health's like so important, especially like I don't know how everyone else is doing in the world at the minute, but we're in a lockdown here and stuff in Belfast, so there's like literally no human contact. So I think having those days where you could just kind of look inward, but it's still exercise. You're exercising your brain. I thought that was really important. So yeah, we made those kind of like mental health focus days.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think as well, like we didn't actually have the opportunity to speak to the apps that we featured, but they did reach out and say that they really appreciated being part of it, and that down the line, if we do it again, that they'd like to take more of a a prominent and role in participating. So yeah, something good did come of it, and I think we'll explore that a bit more next time we run a fitness week.
Awesome.
So Michael, you've hit
by the way-
Fox News. What's next? How can you beat that? You've peaked a bit too early, if anything.
Well, I hope I can connect to that, and I hope that it won't be a one-off thing. Currently, I've reached out to 2 universities in Vienna to get them involved. One is the Sports Science Institute, and the other is a simple computer graphics institute. And I'm trying to kind of get other more official people involved. So maybe we can actually get some tests about how well it works in a biomechanical way with people who actually know what they are doing. So and get some feedback from them. But I do seriously hope that it will continue in that way, and I will actually I'm currently thinking about in getting involved in the virtual athletic leagues with the winter games. I'm not sure if I managed because it would be probably even more a crunch than it was for the fitness week because it simply there isn't enough time to get that working. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it interesting, and I'm trying. Currently, I'm doing a lot of user facing stuff that improves the app for regular users because the fitness week showed me that a lot of people simply do not know what they are expected to do. So I added the playlist so people can actually play several songs in a row. But the problem is now that you are standing in front of an empty playlist and people are saying they don't have songs because they don't know how to add songs to the playlist. So that's why it's a nice feature for people who want to use it extensively, but it's a problem for people who don't know how to use the app. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done to make it usable for the first time users.
There's a constant battle between adding new features, but also making it accessible to new users.
Yeah. I mean,
That
you have
sounds like
to put up new
a
features.
default put a default list, right? So there'd be one there.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's all those small features that you're not thinking about when you're developing it because you're adding features and then afterwards it's small changes. But the good thing is since it's open source, people can actually do it themselves. So I had a user 2 weeks ago who wanted to know if it works on Linux. And since it's open source, he simply took the source and tried to compile it for Linux, and with only small changes, it actually worked. So without me putting up time to get it to run there, he simply did it, and that's the beauty of open source. So if someone wants to add something or do something, then he can just do it.
Super.
You guys want to check out the new SideQuest world real quick?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. It's not quite finished, and the connectivity isn't hooked up. But I figure we're all here. We might as well look at it.
Yeah.
So
Woodrow, you want to bring the camera with us?
How you doing, camera?
I am. I'm bringing the camera. I am operating both myself and the camera.
Whoa. Okay, so we're heading towards SideQuest World. Uh-oh. Sound is funny. Is everybody
Shane,
sound? Oh, there
I
we
can
go.
hear you fine. Yeah.
Oh, there was
So
some
Shane,
kind of weird
basically
cam
what I'm
effect.
thinking here is this can be kind of the backbone, and then the further build out can be kind of more tied to, whatever the theme that week is or whoever's being featured.
Yeah. This is
Feel free to feel free to share thoughts at any time or later on or whenever.
Oh, I like it.
SideQuest Planet.
Yeah, it's nice. Woodrow, did you help build any of the spaces?
Yeah, it looks really cool. I like it.
Cool. Well, take your time to maybe sleep on it, or think about what you might want done in here. But I'm all ears.
It's actually very similar to a space that I tried to make that was basically an asset flip. It was a ready to go stylized space that I found
Mm.
on the asset store, but it ended up being a battle of trying to remove things and trying to
Uh-huh.
optimize it, but it just wasn't possible. I was wasting my time. But it's surprisingly similar, at least in the theme. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I did a similar thing with the logo.
Oh yeah.
I was importing it into Minecraft, so I converted it to a 3D model. I just took
Ah.
the vectors and extruded them.
I would imagine that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, that's cool.
How close are
That's
you
really
to the
cool.
limit what you're allowed by Outspace with this world?
Well, unfortunately, they just changed the limit so that if you want to be featured on the homepage, it's 10 megabyte environment. So this one right now is still 20, which is why we weren't able to feature it this week. But we're working on that.
It's tough. It's really tough. That's a really low
It
limit.
is.
It's a shame because on a Quest right now that I'm on, this runs really smooth.
Totally. I mean, we had our old environment was 100 megs and it ran super smooth. I think they're just trying to. I'm sure the infrastructure team at Altspace is just trying to make it easy on themselves, which I understand.
Yeah, I think VR Chat has a similar setup, but theirs is 50 megabytes, which is considerably higher.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's always a hard thing to balance, especially depending on how many people you'd like to be in the room too.
Mm-hmm. I think what we'll do on this one is we'll have the limit at 30, and then we'll set up the sharding system so that when the 31st person comes, it starts a new room essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Can't you? It's not featured on the homepage, but can't you feature the lobby on the homepage and then simply only have a portal to the actual world?
We can, yeah. That is an option, yeah.
Yeah, we can just feature it on the homepage of SideQuest, right?
For sure. Well, I don't know if you've read any Twitter inbox I sent you recently. I just sent you a message this morning, but essentially we're getting real close to actually being able to launch our native app.
Really?
And so, yeah. So this experience will be totally a subset of what we're doing in native.
So standalone, no Altspace.
Yeah, we started getting further and further. I mean, I'm sure you've seen wonkiness and the badges and stuff, and it's just really difficult to handle all the different SDK versions and a lot of the stuff I'm sure you anticipated. So we just figured, if we're gonna have to do this work, we might as well just do it right in our own code so that it lasts.
Yeah. I pretty much prototyped a platform that replicated maybe 95% of the functionality of this platform a couple of years ago called The Expanse, or renamed to SideQuest Legends. So if you need any hints or tips there, I can certainly point you in a bunch of directions.
Yeah, I'm sure we need all we can get. It's a fraught endeavor for sure. One of the good things
it's a tall order to cater. It seems very simple to be in this environment, but there's a lot of different things to factor in.
Yep.
But it's cool to hear that you're doing that.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that Altspace offers, we don't need at all. Like, we don't need a menu, we don't need an events directory, we don't need any of this stuff. Like, you're just going to land, in the experience right on load, and then all of our account management and everything can be on the web. So we save ourselves a good bit of work through that approach.
Yeah, no, I get it. We've been playing with a Minecraft server recently. And we've been considering using it for stuff as well, just because we've been able to implant a browser system into it where you can pretty much display whatever you want, videos, Google Slides. It's quite simple in that sense.
Sure.
But yeah, it's great to hear you're doing that. And apologies I didn't catch up with you on Twitter. Last couple of days have been crazy. I got very little sleep, and we just rolled out this new beta of communities v2, so now that's open to the public. Anybody can create communities now. We also got the source code of Tiltbrush and got that up and running so that we could get a version of that out onto SideQuest, which is cool. And we're now working with some teams that are going to take that to the next level, which is awesome as well. So, what's that?
The multiplayer Tiltbrush.
Yeah, Tiltbrush.
Say that one more time.
The multiplayer Tiltbrush.
Multiplayer Tiltbrush looked really cool. And I was impressed with how quickly they managed to do that. They basically did that overnight. That was great. I think it was on PC. I don't think it was on Quest, unfortunately. You'd assume they'd probably boast about it if it was on Quest, but it's still cool to see. If something like that could be ported, or if somebody's willing to go the extra mile and make that, because that's a whole new layer, really, isn't it, for collaborative art in that sense.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I hope that it will actually be like a standard of doing art in VR in a collaborative way. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think this next stage for Tiltbrush is going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be like something like Minecraft, where you've got a range of different variants of mods that you can run along with it, and people are going to do some amazing things with it. I can't wait to see them. Like already a bunch of people have kind of lined up Live, forked it, and have done native Live integration for a desktop version, so you can do the mixed reality recording really easy. And then there's guys already working on creating an alternative Google Poly that they plan to integrate with it as well, because of course Poly is shutting down. They announced they were sunsetting that not too long ago. So yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what people do. Multiplayer is probably going to be one of the funnest things, I think, probably.
I guess the best thing would be if they just integrate Sketchfab, because if you have your model and then you simply publish it to Sketchfab, then it's probably the most accessible.
Yeah, definitely. That would be pretty neat. They do have Sketchfab integration in Tiltbrush in terms of importing things, I think. Isn't that right? Am I right in saying that?
I'm not sure, but I think the other way around would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, to keep it accessible and to have it move forward as an open source project rather than anything with any kind of influence in that sense. I think that's the best possible place something like that could end up, because I think it's where the people who really want to use it for something good, they're going to get the most value possible out of that now, which is great.
Totally.
But this space is awesome.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to head back to our space because this one's not listed in the menu. I don't want people to show up to an empty room confused, but glad you guys like it, and we'll definitely be, chipping away at this. I hope we weren't stepping on your toes with this fitness week thing. Michael had the idea to bring some people in here, and I just figured, why not? But
you were our savior.
Okay.
We were trying to arrange something, but I had just overloaded myself with too much going on, so I had to bail and pull the plug last week. But yeah, these guys kind of came to you, and you sort of saved the day, I guess.
Yeah, well, Michael just sent me a message this morning and said, "Hey, I arranged this whole thing," and I was like, "What? That's great."
Yeah. It was a group effort this whole fitness week. Everybody really pitched in there. It was great. It was really great that everybody and really crunched really hard, and I appreciate that because, obviously we delivered things and there was only a certain time period, but I was really happy with the turnout. The amount of people that managed to actually make use of it. But Yeah, I think I actually I need to shoot because honestly I'm really tired. I need to actually get some sleep.
You don't need to give us a
Uh,
reason, Shane.
So I need to bail, but tomorrow's going to be super exciting. Anybody that has anything to do with any of the communities on SideQuest, you're going to see a lot of crazy things happening. Anybody that's interested is not in VR. I'm going to be giving away a lot of quests in the next couple of days. Things are going to get real exciting. So I look forward
That's
to getting
awesome.
up tomorrow and getting to plan all of that out.
Awesome.
And finally, Myron, who we need to get in here someday if he's not been in here before, who makes deism on SideQuest. He's basically taking over from me now, full time in terms of managing the front end of SideQuest. So I'm really excited to be able to free myself up so I can kind of focus on helping you guys develop the community a bit more. So I look forward to, trying to get some cool things done and trying to maximize what we've got. But yeah. I'm going to bail. I'll see you guys later. Have a great night. Thank you very much again, Justin, and to all of you guys. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
See you around.
Yeah, I'm gonna head too, but it was lovely to chat to you all.
Cheers, guys.
See you, Orla.
See you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye now.
All righty.
And I hope that the article from Facebook is actually true, that they will release, they will make the unlisted apps reality next week. I'm not sure if
I
you read
think
that.
I don't mean to connect dots that shouldn't be connected, but I would imagine that's what Shane's talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he could be talking about that. I'm not sure, because he's pretty tight about that. So you don't get anything out of him for that. Since they meant to actually do it this week, as far as I read it from their from his Ask Me Anything stuff. Probably, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I can live with it if it's next week, but if it's this week, it's even better.
What was that?
gonna be able Go ahead.
Was that launching the apps on or allowing direct downloads from Oculus?
Well, it's
think
not.
so.
I mean, they said that the support for unlisted third-party apps will come very soon. They actually wanted to do it this week, but they had some last-minute changes that didn't get through. So they said it's
Okay.
very, very imminent, and it's probably next week. But since Shane is now so ominous about what's
Yeah.
going to happen, maybe it's happening already this week.
Well, that's good news.
Hmm.
Do we know
Yeah, it's
anything
gonna
more
be
about
interesting.
the application process?
Well, if I understand it correctly, I mean, I have no first-hand knowledge about anything, but if whatever they put out and what they released a few months ago, it looks like you will be able to install simply from a link, and then the difference is, so you don't have to actually install it via USB, and it
Mhm.
will be available in your menu and not like the unlisted unknown sources. So I think that's the biggest.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
guess it's from the Oculus browser. So if I would think I would if I would
Oh,
do it,
wow.
I would simply you browse in the Oculus browser to some let's say an APK, and if it's verified or if it's signed by Facebook, then you simply can install it. I guess maybe.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So we
Yeah.
could potentially add download links right into our space here for different projects.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, true, yeah, that would be great.
Interesting. Super.
Robert and Mel, you guys are on the same team, right? You guys are both with Help Yourself. Is that right? Or am I getting that mixed up? No, it's you, Mel.
Which Robert? Sorry, you go.
You. Well, are you also a developer of an app, Robert? I forget.
Yeah. I actually was one of the participants in the Fitness Week. The developer of app called Real Fit. Joined a little bit late, so didn't really have all the context. So I was just hanging back a bit.
Cool.
But yeah, I was adding the support for achievements and whatnot up to the last minute, and yeah, it was a great little event. But yeah.
That's great.
Robert was actually the one that found the most bugs in the API. So he's the one that can be credited for ironing out everything that didn't work.
That's
Yeah,
great.
the SideQuest devs were really good at responding to any of the issues we found, and yeah, it was a good process. Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of messages that were flying around in the developer Discord channel kind of late on Sunday and then early into Monday was incredible, as the as the frantic sort of last few minutes kind of went through. But yeah, it was pretty cool to and like you say, the developers were really responsive in SideQuest and kind of giving us pointers and help and bug fixing right up to the last minute. So it was really cool.
Yeah, we had a few last minute emergencies, didn't we, with
Yeah.
crazy kung fu and well, the SideQuest devs made a bit of an SDK for anyone that was using Unity and added one of the features hadn't been fully ironed out, I suppose, for being able to list the available achievements for your app. And yeah, a few of the apps that were using that feature ended up in a bit of a pickle briefly. But that was ironed out pretty quickly.
It was, yeah.
Well, Mel,
Did
you
you
want
see in
to?
terms? Sorry, go on.
Well, Mel, you want to give us an update on your project?
Well, January is quite stressful for us students, so my programmer team couldn't do a lot for help yourself, but
Sure.
right now I'm redesigning the logo and doing the whole new branding of help yourself, because the thing that is right now on SideQuest, I made this in one day in the summer because I thought, it's nothing important, a small game, nobody will look at it, and now it's on a t-shirt. And I'm thinking, no, you're just gonna redesign it. So sad. And I believe we will have a new update in the end of February or in the beginning of March. I hope
Awesome.
a lot of art stuff will get done. New enemy design or the whole set dressing of the levels, but we will see.
Awesome. Well, I love what you're doing with the art style, so keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Who's got something?
What was your the response from your app, Robert? Was it similar to the other guys? Did you get lots of new users?
Well, it was pretty cool actually. I mean, Real Fit is a paid for app, so it's a little bit different probably to the experience that some of the other devs had. Well, Crazy Kung Fu is paid for as well, actually, I suppose. But they've had a demo that's been freely available for a long time as well, whereas Real Fit hasn't had a free demo available. So it's been good to see the big jump in numbers for people downloading it. Like I guess I had like 1,000 downloads over the event, where it was previously something like 800, and it's nearly 2,000 downloads now. Yeah, I had this like 200 new users sign up, so it's a bit, the numbers for the downloads don't really exactly correlate, I think, with the number of people that actually use. I think there's some extra downloads that maybe happen that aren't really associated with people using the app, because it's only 200 users that actually signed up on the back end, and like 50 users that then connected with SideQuest. So that's kind of that was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, I've had some positive feedback, and it's also translated to a few sales as well. Yeah, it's been a good experience.
Cool. Congratulations. Is it just you working on it, or have you got a team?
Solo dev. My partner sort of helps out as and when she can between her studying. But yeah, so kind of spending most of my time at the moment really on the back end side of things, trying to add support for stats and achievements, kind of related to what was needed for SideQuest, but I wasn't able to actually integrate my own native support for achievements in time. So I kind of just did a bit of more of a hacky integration for the SideQuest Fitness week. But I'm trying to just continue with that back end work at the moment, which is kind of distracting me from being able to work on the feature work that's visible to users. So it's been like months now where I haven't really been able to focus on visually, new visual features.
Yeah.
It's one, when you're one dev, it's hard to juggle these different things as well as marketing and it's a good challenge though, but you have to split your focus quite a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating when you've spent weeks working on a feature, but the end users see nothing different. It just feels like it's the same app to them, and you can't show them the back end.
Yeah, and like classic dev sort of thing to underestimate how long it's going to take you to work on some back end feature before you actually make it available in a useful way. But yeah, hopefully I'll be switching over now to sort of content side of things fairly soon. A bit like Michael was mentioning earlier, he was mentioning about potentially working with the Virtual Athletics League for their winter games. That's something else that's on my radar, and I'm trying to figure out, what I can deliver for that event if I participate in that.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah.
What is the Virtual Athletics League? I've not come across that before.
I haven't followed them super duper closely. I know that they did this fitness summit
Fitness Summit.
back in like November. It was like September last
September,
year.
October, yeah.
Yeah, and that was lots of mini kind of challenges and tournaments that were generally organized, I think, on their Discord, but you had the likes of FitXR and O Shape running little competitions with prize pools to kind of incentivize users to get involved. But the Virtual Athletics Leagues generally tries to run tournaments for any VR content that lends itself to kind of esports style tournaments. I mean, Ryan, who's the CEO of the Virtual Athletics League, I think he's just really keen to be able to find a way for VR to have an esports kind of scene and have that be something that he can foster. And he's trying to figure out how to make that be viable in an ecosystem that can't really support advertising as the basis for sort of funding that kind of stuff. But he's the one that's kind of pushing that forward, and I guess it was a new thing to experiment with that fitness summit last year, and hopefully they've learned a few things from running that, and if they run a new winter games, then they can build on what they learned.
Cool.
So that'd be interesting to to work with them on that.
I'm just going to say thanks a lot. I have to step out.
Great. Well, thanks for coming by.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming
again next week.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Ciao.
I think the Virtual Athletics League also provides kind of, they're working on this platform which other games can integrate. So all this esports, all this backend you need for esports, they are building that. I think they already have built that, and as far as I understand it, they want other games to integrate it to actually work with their esports. or athletics league game tournament things. So I guess if you want to bring it to a professional level, then you have to think about cheating and everything, and so that's probably going to be the biggest issue for those esports types of events, unless you actually have people live on camera doing it, so they can't cheat. But I think that's going to be a big issue for a real esport.
Sorry, man, I couldn't hear you unless I was standing close.
What's your background, Robert? How'd you get into VR dev?
I used to work at, I guess when I first kind of got interested in VR and buying all the headsets was when I was working at Intel around 2014-ish time in the graphics team, working on sort of OpenGL drivers and performance kind of analysis sort of functionality in the Linux kernel. And yeah, I've got systems programming and graphics programming backgrounds, and just pretty excited by any graphics, user interaction technology, and yeah, just kind of trying out all of the VR content as it was coming out, and yeah, I mean, so I was involved with representing Intel for a while within the Kronos group for the OpenXR group, and kind of got to see how some of how that bootstrapped itself, and was starting to work on some of the OpenGL extensions for supporting stereo, sort of accelerating stereo rendering. But yeah, I left Intel and went on and did something fairly different to do with using depth cameras to be able to track people's movements. So using like the iPhone depth camera to be able to do skeletal tracking, and was looking at being able to make an exercise app where you could basically count people doing squats and various exercises, like giving them feedback about doing those kinds of exercises. And so I was in this kind of mindset where I was trying to make a fitness app in a startup using that kind of depth camera technology, and it didn't work out. We basically ran out of money, and so when I was looking for something new, I was kind of thinking I'd wanted to make a startup for a long time. I was really excited by VR exercise from having played way too much Beat Saber, and the experience of trying to make a fitness app at this startup had kind of got me in that headspace where I kind of thought it would be good to try and make some fitness content for VR, considering that things like Beat Saber don't really take that kind of responsibility for helping you avoid, injury. I mean, in my case, I was kind of going a bit far with how much I was trying to do, expert plus stuff before I'd really exercised my arms and shoulders properly. So I ended up injuring myself. So I was feeling like it would be good to have more fitness content that did take that responsibility, I suppose, to help you exercise more than just your shoulders and your arms, and more than just doing squats, I suppose. So
And I'm
yeah,
sure
that's
you know
kind of
that a good application is recovery for fitness.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how you come back from stress injury. You know, it's
Yeah.
can be a very useful part of the environment. It's a feature, not a bug.
What do you think would be the most impactful hardware change for VR headsets to adapt that would add to the fitness scene? You know, because there are numerous things you could add: foot trackers of some kind, guy here earlier today was saying we need gloves instead of controllers. Is there anything that you as fitness developers are particularly looking forward to in terms of, oh, if we only had this one extra thing, so many more options would be available?
Personally, I think probably just if it was the ergonomics, if they were just way lighter and more comfortable, that would make a massive difference on its own. I'm not someone that really gets that fussy about having really fancy technology that needs to be able to track every detail. I think one of the lessons that I hopefully learned from my previous startup trying to do fancy full body tracking and spending way too much time on tech instead of trying to make a product, kind of figure now you can work with what you have and you can do quite a lot with like imperfect tracking. The tracking tech that we have with VR controllers and six stuff tracking is really pretty impressive for consumer sort of hardware. So I think that's a pretty good basis for fitness at the moment. But yeah, the comfort I think still needs to get a lot better for a lot more people to adopt it. I feel.
Yeah, I think the comfort as well as also being able to track some metrics better. I mean, obviously you can have like a waistband or a watch or something to get your BPM and things, but having that somehow just within the same ecosystem and zone, I think would be really useful. And like you say, the comfort factor, wearing a headset is, I guess we as developers get used to it sort of thing, but yeah, it's a heavy piece of kit. And so, and if you're moving around fast, then you've got to make sure it's secured well. Then you've got all the problems of sweat and keeping it clean and things. So I think that aspect of it, I think, would certainly help from a fitness perspective. And also, I think just from a general comfort factor of being able to use VR. But I think the changes that Quest did from Facebook, Oculus did from Quest to Quest 2, I think was great because it did make it that little bit much lighter. Which is noticeable when you're exercising. So that for me, I think could be some interesting changes. And you say, I mean, getting rid of the controllers, I think that would again probably help, but also still trying to make sure there's at least some interface. So yeah.
So I mean,
what if you had go ahead, Michael.
Getting rid of the controllers, what I noticed from the people playing with hand tracking is that they generally like it very much. So in the video with the guy who wanted to break the 1,000 calorie, he was like every second sentence was, "Wow, that's so great that you don't have to use controllers." So getting rid of the controllers is really something that for the average casual fitness, I mean casual player that's not actually doing shooting or something, but wants to use it for fitness, that getting rid of the controllers is really a very important thing. But then you have the problem that you don't have a feedback. So that's actually what you usually get. People complaining it's not so satisfying to hit something, even if it's just an orb or something, if it doesn't give you feedback. So I think there is a room for like that this glove solution, and I think it would even be quite good if Facebook would have I mean, maybe they have something to vibrate your glove, but some gloves that simply improve the hand tracking. So that would.
Well, did you see the? Sorry, the Facebook Connect, they were kind of teasing at that kind of bracelet tracking device, and that could be the direction that could work quite nicely. Yeah, that looks like that would be a pretty good solution.
We were in their developer program right before they got bought by Facebook, so we had one of those units for a while.
Yeah,
the Control Labs band. It's super cool.
Yeah, that would give, because one of the problems when you don't have the controllers when it comes to a fitness app is not really being able, if you want to be able to track energy expenditure in any way, then the movement of your hands is kind of a fairly important part of like trying to do that. And with the hand tracking, the resolution, I mean, the reliability of the hand tracking is not going to be able to do a great job of giving you good feedback about people accelerating the movement of the hands.
also in terms of the UI with hand tracking, I find that when you select items in the UI, you don't get that feedback. And I imagine, I don't know, I've never tried the bands, but if you got some kind of vibration or some kind of something back to know that you clicked on something, it would just make the whole experience so much better.
Yeah. So even just having that subtle buzz, you know, reaching out and touching something is enough haptics for the vast majority of use cases, I think.
So I imagine you had lots of users during Fitness Week going from one app into the next. Did you find that people were coming into your Discord or your community and saying, "Oh, I just tried out VR Workout, or I just tried out one of the other apps, and I really like this feature. You should do that in your app." Are you likely to borrow or take some features from anything else you've seen?
I think for me, it's actually good that all the apps are different in different ways, and I think that just helps from a consumer perspective, in that if somebody wants to do some high intensity stuff, then the VR workout stuff is great for that. If somebody wants to do a bit more kind of dance type or movement type stuff, then our game sort of captures some of that. And so I think the variety, I think, is actually healthy. And I think the only things that I guess we've borrowed from each other is actually just trying to get people to try each of the games and having some sort of central place of having badges and things. I think if we can develop that a little bit further, that people can actually see, oh, you've played that and this is what you've achieved. That I think helps, you know, people of a very competitive nature. They can kind of say, well, I've taken all of these badges from all of these different games. But no, I mean, I've certainly not thought, oh, I need to steal that or borrow that idea, because I think there's enough variety in there for us to just to keep doing our own thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, the hexagons in Hitstream, I'm pretty jealous of those. You know.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they look really
I have
nice.
to say, I have to say, it's actually, I mean, and not really that the users are saying you should do this or that, but we actually try, because we all tried out all other games. It was like, oh, that feature is really cool, and I should have thought of that, or that's really nice to have. So from that point of view, they're really trying, as a developer, trying out a lot of other games in your genre is really a very good idea, because you see that we're doing similar things, but everyone has a slightly different angle and thinks about similar, slightly different things. And yeah, that's really a great way to grow.
Yeah, it was nice actually having a bit of a break from just testing RealFit and actually going and trying out these different apps myself. So not even seeing, you know, other people coming into my Discords having been connected from trying these other apps. I'm the one that's going and trying all these things and trying to get the different achievements. And yeah, I did try and I took a stab at getting, I think, the achievements in all the apps that had integrated achievements, except for Groove Fit Kingdom. I still haven't tried to do that. They managed to cram in the support like right at the last moment, but I haven't.
I did it before they integrated it, because I simply did all
yeah. I
games.
mean, I've tried Groove Fit Kingdom. I just ages ago, but yeah, it would be good to try it again. Just
I have to say, I won't release the video of it, because I was like, I did all games without the tutorial except for Smash Drums, because it wouldn't have worked without the tutorial. But I was like, I know how all this stuff works, and I simply will try it without it. And in Groove Fit Kingdom, I was really flailing around, because when the bears that come from the middle, I didn't know what to do with them. I think you have to hit with both hands. But I failed so often that I'm really embarrassed to edit that I didn't actually manage to do it. And also the tennis.
Oh, I didn't remember bears in it. Yeah, I remember like
also
having these frog things. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, is it frogs? I think it was bears. Maybe okay, then maybe it's frogs. But whatever that is, that I think you have bears at hand and frogs coming at you or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, like wolves. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But I was like, I think I'm so smart and I don't have to do the tutorial. And afterwards, I was like, I can't release that video because it looked so bad from hitting everything, but nothing really.
Yeah.
I think what I got out of some people actually posted videos of them playing my game, and actually, to your point around people that have never played it before, what are they getting, what are they not getting, what are the things that you need to kind of improve on for the first time that somebody plays something, I think is again really interesting feedback. And because if you've been using the game for so long, you kind of miss out on what that first experience looks like. So in mind, there was a guy who actually didn't understand that these circles that you're meant to put your head down so that you can kind of duck and weave and things like that. And so he put his hands through. And originally I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I need to be a little bit more clear in terms of, the instructions. But actually from that, it was like, well, maybe we can actually incorporate that kind of hand movement for these circles for people that can't duck, because we always get people of different kind of physical abilities. And so we want to try and make sure that at least, as many people as can participate in playing the game. So originally when I said, oh, we want an option so that you don't need to duck or squat, it just stopped that type of movement. But actually watching this guy play our game, doing kind of this sort of movement with his hands, it was like, well, that's actually easier to do than a squat. So for people that can't do a squat, that's actually, maybe we change it so that that's an option. So I think the new user feedback, I think was very interesting, kind of getting people to actually play the game and then putting the time out to actually put a video out there of them actually playing the game, I think was good.
Yeah, that's the most amazing feedback whenever someone is able to make a video of their first time experience trying your app.
Yeah.
Like there's no better feedback than that, because you just get to see them like where they don't understand something that you know you can't get that kind of feedback by asking someone afterwards. So I had a couple of people post similar kinds of videos recently as well, and that's been really helpful.
Yeah, I kind of think it should be a feature. I don't know how they'd work this, but some kind of way of asking the users permission to record their sessions, their first session. So they just record everything from their headset and sends it to you afterwards for analysis. That'd be really interesting.
I think Facebook might already be on some thin ice with taking people's information, so they might be worried about doing something like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't go down too well, I don't imagine. So you guys must be like really fit because through testing your own apps. But did you find that jumping into other people's apps, you were suddenly trying like doing new muscle groups or exercising muscles you didn't know you had?
I have to say, Real Fit did really bust my core, because I was again like, I was okay, I'm just doing something, core workout, okay, I want to do a core workout, and then it was like, oh my god, no, I can't do that. I mean, I can do it, but it was really, I had really burning muscles afterwards.
It's funny, actually, being a developer of a fitness app means that you're probably not the typical developer in the fact that you're sat at your desk for like hours and hours on end, not moving. Whereas I don't know about you guys, but I'm constantly up, try something, and especially because you're developing with the Quest, you kind of want to see what it looks like in the actual environment. So you're up, you play the game, and therefore then you're exercising, and you go back to your desk and do it again, try something, and go backwards and forwards. So I'm constantly on my feet. I don't feel like I need one of these like height adjustable desks to stand up and code, because I'm all over the place in terms of doing that. But no, I think it's going back to the first person to play, or the first time somebody plays it. I think again, different abilities of people's fitness levels. I've probably got to tone back some of the easier levels on and certainly on my game, because you get the feedback from people that if you played the game, they want more intense levels, they want more fitness and things, but then you forget about the people that are new to all of this, and they're going, wow, what's happened? This is just too much to do. So I think having that kind of whole range of levels whereby people can, if they're really at the start, they can actually just try something out that's not too intense, and then cater for the people that really want to go for it. Which is why for the fitness week, it was like interesting to put like some badges out there of like kind of bronze, silver, gold, and then kind of beat the developer, because I felt like, well, because I'm the one who's been playing the game so much, I'll try really hard to get a high score and see if anybody can beat it. And I think at the moment only 2 people have, and that was quite good to sort of see. So I think it wasn't just about whether they can technically play it or whether they're actually putting that amount of energy into playing the game. So
yeah, no, I tried twice to to get the gold or whatever in your game, and yeah, no, I couldn't do it. Even though I haven't been testing RealFit that much recently because I've actually just, like I mentioned earlier, just been doing back end stuff. But yeah, so I go in those phases of when I'm actually working on the UI, then yeah, obviously you have to test it all the time, and so yeah, you're up and down a lot. But not so much recently. But yeah, with RealFit, it is still a little bit different to quite a few other fitness apps in terms of trying to have quite a lot of variety. So I imagine that it's been a slightly more surprising experience for folks that have done other fitness content that tends to be kind of cardio focused generally, and then I guess VR workout and RealFit are doing things that are a little bit more varied for like the whole body compared to quite a few other fitness apps. But yeah, I have tended to worry about how making sure that RealFit is as accessible as possible for different levels of fitness, and I don't treat the design in terms of it being a game and it being a thing where you're going to try to maximize the score, because I'm worried about dictating like the level that you should be working at, as opposed to trying to make it so that you can work at whatever sort of suits you, your level of fitness. But at the same time, it's so hard because some people really want pacing and some people find that easier to work with. So it's hard to tread that line of like um, working with varied levels of fitness. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious because I feel like one of the big selling points of, working out in VR is that you can motivate that activity with something, either with music or, you're fighting something or you're getting points or you're comparing your score to your friend. Have you guys been able to accumulate any data from actual players on what is the most motivating tactic to, keep someone coming back or even just playing longer than they might have?
Well, I mean, Beat Saber is, super, super motivating for a huge number of people. That's like that. The motivation from games is very compelling. The challenge maybe is that you might want a perhaps more balanced kind of exercise, and I mean, some of the games give you a good cardio workout, and that's just really good. But if you're trying to also, do a bit of strength training or just generally work on your core muscles, or focus on legs or whatever it is, then you're going to find content that also has maybe a game that is as engaging as say Beat Saber, and then it's hard to find a game for every single kind of different type of exercise. I mean, there is quite a reasonable variety of content out there, but yeah, it's still a challenge to figure out how to come up with a balanced exercise based just on games, I suppose.
I would say the most, in my case, the most important feature is simply the music. I mean, I don't have good music, but I have the ability for people to add their own music. And as same as with Hitstream, you simply, if you have something that you move to the music, this is something that drives so much motivation. That's I mean, because people are, if most people who are doing exercise have their iPods, their AirPods in or whatever, or they're running with music, or simply there is this music is something that's driving so much emotion and energy that if you have some music that has something to do with what you're doing in the game, that's really a great motivation for people. So I think that's why Beat Saber works so well, because turn off the music in Beat Saber and probably nobody would play it because they would simply be flailing around and hitting blocks. But there isn't. I mean, Beat Saber is great because of music. The same with Sims. I mean, Sims Riders probably has a bit more, since they have more general movements. It would probably work a bit better without music. But if you take away the music, it's the same. If you take away the music of the movie and play it on mute, then it's boring. So music is really the key to most of those. I mean, probably not so much real fit, because you are doing exercises, more traditional exercises. There the music is more like you need it for as a background, so you have something that's not, so your room isn't silent. But for most games, the music is the key.
But it's also to try and, I mean, one of the things that we were trying to do was make it so you didn't feel like you're exercising. And I think a number of the elements that you've talked about there, it kind of helps that. So the music itself kind of takes you away from the fact that, you know, you're moving your arms and legs and things like that. And actually having a game element to it means that you're enjoying it, hopefully. And, you know, certainly for us, we wanted the chance of putting kind of leaderboards together so that people could, you know, compete, see their scores over a period of time, see if they're getting better, and yeah, not realizing to a certain extent that they're exercising, but just getting enjoyment out of it. And it's only when they take their headset off that they go, oh wow, that was actually quite a decent workout. You know, I think is a real positive. You know, because it means that you don't have that kind of dread of, oh, I'm going to the gym today. You know, and I think that's what VR exercise in general kind of gets through. People have been able to exercise at home, especially when a lot of places have been closed. So I think we're all helping the community in that sense, just by being able to kind of keep fit whilst being locked in at home.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely, that's one of the most compelling things about VR exercise, is that I can get fit and play a game. That sounds too good to be true, but it's not.
Right, guys, I'm going to need to go. It's 6:45 a.m. here in Hong Kong, so I'll start getting ready for the day.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Great chatting to you guys, and good to see you guys. Yeah.
Cool.
Have a good morning.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
have a good day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, it's 11:45 p.m., so I will probably head for bed too.
Yeah, probably bedtime for me
Yeah, I
as
should
well.
probably get some sleep as well.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
It's really nice to meet.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Robert, and see you
Nice to
both.
talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Take care, and hopefully see you
And
next week.
let's wait what Shane is coming up with tomorrow.
Yeah,
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Oof. Yeah.
See you guys soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a good morning, noon, or night, wherever it is you are.
Yeah, you too.
You too.